These are common mistakes I see editors make when editing my videos or other videos in general. First one, anchor points. An anchor point is where the video will zoom into or will zoom out of. So in this instance, I have an anchor point. I'll show you this. There's no anchor points on this clip, and it's zooming into my face. And I have this bar here at the top, so you can see just a reference of the face's height throughout it. So I'll play the clip. You can see it bobs up and down, up and down. So it's not a consistent zoom in. That's because the clip is zooming in and then also moving to move the face. It's not zooming in on the face. It's just zooming in on the center of the video, and then it's trying to get the face in a certain spot. So that's no anchor points. Versus this clip has anchor points and it's zooming into my face. A nice consistent zoom into my face instead of zooming and then moving my face. So once again, with anchor points, bam, and then instance without anchor points. Hopefully you can see that difference. Head heights consistency. So
every question I ask you, I'll try to trick you,
okay? A clip I got
okay?
from an editor.
Here we go. How many outs are in
head
one
heights
inning of
are
baseball?
Not consistent throughout the video. You can see I have this bar here again. I'll increase the opacity. Just immediately lower. Not the same height. Again, not the same height. Not the same height. Too high. Good height. It's like halfway on the frame. It's bad there. Not the same. These are all just different heights. So when I'm editing a video, I make sure that I have my head height marker, which in this case it's an arbitrary photo, and then I have a marker on the background that's a bright pink photo, just so that I know that the head heights are staying in a consistent spot, and that if I'm editing the video and I zoom in too much and pull it over, I can see a bright pink line telling me something's not right. So that's head heights consistency. Numbers popping in to prevent spoilers. Sorry, there's a bug that got on me. So sick. Numbers popping in to prevent spoilers. So here is just an instance of a number popping in. But the issue with this is people don't say this number instantly. They say 1,469. So that took like 5 seconds to say this number. And in a video where it's based off of guessing, you don't want to be spoiling all of the answers. You don't want to just pop this number in as the contestant takes 5 seconds to say what's going on. You're spoiling the video. So 1,000, see it's already in, 469. But it happened instantly, which is why instead you break the numbers down into 1,460 and 9. So an instance with a 3-digit number would look like this if the number was 169. 169. And an incorrect instance is just popping the number in. Another incorrect instance would be popping 100 in and then popping in separately 169. And that looks like this. 100 and then 169. And so the correct version versus the incorrect version looks like this. So the correct version, it goes to the 100, then to the 10, then to the 1. Incorrect, there's a bunch of different ways that it can be incorrect. Like in this instance, it's popping in 100, and then it's also popping in 169, so that all the numbers change. It's not right. Here is another example of the correct version for a 4-digit number. This is 1,469. So 1,469. No spoilers there, you know? You get it as the contestant says it. Here's the incorrect way, where just the number pops in instantly. Boom. Another option that's incorrect is going 1,000 and then popping in the rest of the numbers. So the other 469, 1,460. Like, it's not it. They don't just take time to say the 1,000 and then instantly say 469. It takes time for contestants to say pretty much all of these numbers. Here's another incorrect version, and this is incorrect because each individual number pops in one at a time versus all of the numbers. Sorry, I had to change the color. This is incorrect because every number pops in, and you'll see it. 1,000 pops in, 460. They all just pop in. I'll play it again. I'll compare that to the correct version. Only the number that's being addressed should pop in. Incorrect. Hopefully you can see that. Here's another option for an incorrect version. It's the spacing. The spacing is off. So watch this, you'll notice it instantly. And that happens because to make this correct version, you have multiple different text boxes that need to line up. Last incorrect version. Gosh, all these colors are wrong. The last incorrect version is just the spacing all around is just not right. So, correct versus incorrect. One more time. So the way that this is done, it's super simple. You just have one row for number. So this is the 1,000 spot, this is the 100 spot, this is the 10 spot, and then the 1 spot. So I'll pretty much just, it's pretty simple. I don't think I should have to give you a tutorial, but I'll just show you really quickly. So put all your numbers in the right spot. Make sure that this is done absolutely correctly. And the way I do this is you just type the number out in full, and then you get one text box for each digit, and you make sure you turn off any text effects such as outline and drop shadow and all of that, just so it's just the numbers, so you can see that they're in the right spot. And then I'll change this number so it matches what we have, and then you just move them one at a time. So right now I'm moving the 1,000, so the 1. You just line it up so it's perfect, and you do that with every single number, and you only have to do this once ever. It's that simple. But anyway, once you get it, you just listen for when the contestant says what. So let's say that it takes them, this is a 4-second clip, there's 4 numbers. I'm just doing this for simplicity. Let's say it takes them 1 second per number. So 1,000, and then a second later they say, you know, the hundreds digit. So we'll change this time to 1. Really, you could just cut the clip, but this is easier for me. So, and then they say 100, and then another second later, I'm just using this for timing. You cut the clip there, you can remove this. And then they said the tens digit, and then another second later, they said the 1. So it's just that simple. It's 1,123. So it's just a matter of having a separate text box for each digit, each character there is, and making sure that the respective character pops in. And the red in the back is just the number I used to line it up, so without it, it looks like this. Boom. That simple. Oh, and I said you only ever have to do it once because you only ever have to do it once. And I'll show you over here. So this is a correct working example. This is the correct versus incorrect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this correct version and reset everything. So when you have your text boxes, they're all going to be at the origin. Obviously that's not correct, but it's as simple as copy and paste the position. So the hundreds all go to the same spot. It doesn't matter if it's a 0 or a 4. It's in the exact same position. It just lines up. Same with the 10. You just copy and paste the position. And the same with the 1. Just copy and paste the position. Sorry, I was trying to copy more than one text box at a time, so you can't copy two things at a time. Anyway, it's just you can copy and paste it. It's that simple. Albeit copy and paste only works if you use the same font size. So in my videos I do use the same font size just because I like to keep things consistent and keep the viewer understanding what's going to come next. So you can see it's 250 over here. All text is 250, all the numbers that is in this example, and then the same over here. It's all text size is all the same at 250. So that is numbers. Now we're going to talk about when to animate text versus not animate text. So the rule of thumb is when someone starts talking, their caption is animated in, and when they stop talking, the last thing they say is animated out. In between, you don't need to animate in or animate out any of the stuff unless you want to use this animation to emphasize something. So in this instance right here, this person will start talking, so I'm going to animate this first word, that I thought you, animates in, and then I don't animate his last word because the frame ends. You don't animate out if the frame ends. So I'll show you what that looks like.
I thought you said that wasn't a yes or no question.
So you saw that first word animates in, and that's it for him.
I thought
it pops in.
I thought
So when the frame ends, don't animate out. That's because when the frame ends, the animation out starts over here, and it spoils that there's an ending. We don't want the videos being spoiled at all. In this instance, my first word is animated in, as is always, and my last word is animated out because I stop speaking before the frame ends. So you can see that here. Animate in, and then animate out.
It's not a yes or no question. There is no precedent.
you just said
But again, his words, they animate in, the first word animates in, and the last word does not animate out because the frame ends as he's done speaking. So in this instance, this girl will speak, her first word animated in, her last word animated out, because the frame doesn't end when she's done speaking.
Well, you got that wrong.
Wait, so what's on the $100 bill?
Benjamin Franklin.
So animate in to start, use it for emphasis or specialty if you need to. Animate out if the frame does not end. Animating in and out, if you're doing it to one text box, sometimes it makes it too hard to read. So in this instance, let's just say she said this really quickly. So 18 out of 60 for seconds. So she's a quick speaker. This is what it looks like. Verify that both are in. So animate in and out. Looks like this.
Oh.
It's like it's not enough time on screen. So I usually like to extend this out so that the viewer actually can capture it, because after all, it does take some time for this to animate in and then also animate out. So I like to give it some time in between it. So it looks something like this.
Oh, I thought you said that.
See, you can read it, you can view it, you see the animation, all is good. So just make sure that you don't make a text box just animation. Don't let it just animate in and then out right away. Give it some time to breathe. For tracking, people don't understand all the time that you don't want to track one word at a time. So this person says all of these words. He says all 7 captions here. So you won't just go through and track all of these to him one at a time. This is what it would look like if you did that. You'd have to do that 7 separate times. So here's once. Make sure the rotation's all the same. And then you got to go do it again. You got to turn the track around for them. Turn the rotation off. Put it back to 0. And then you'd have to put it above his head in a good spot. And in this case, I'm exaggerating to show you. Turn this off. Anyway, well, there's 3. Not only does that take a while, but you would have to place every caption exactly where the last one ended. So the start of every one would have to be the exact spot where the last one ended so that it flows and so that it doesn't jump around. So instead of tracking all of the captions one at a time, you can see they jump around. You just put them all in a compound clip, and then you just track one compound clip. But you can tell there's an issue there, and that issue arises if you're tracking onto another compound clip. First off, putting all the captions into a compound clip is the solution that's good. So this is a new problem I'm introducing. When you are tracking onto a compound clip that has a zoom or a scale change, so you can see
when
here,
you ask that, I have a feeling it shouldn't be, but yeah, let's do
it
it.
zooms in a lot. The tracking struggles sometimes to understand that zoom. So all you got to do is just drop a keyframe from when the zoom starts to when it ends and adjust the height manually. Just like that. Bingo. Another instance where Tracker may need some help from you with keyframes is like a face. Tracking will track the plane. So if I'm facing you in the video and it's tracked, it'll track this, and if I turn, it'll, even though my head stays in the same spot, the tracker frame moves because it's tracking my face. So now the tracker's here because it's in line with this. Let's just say it's my phone. It's here. When I turn, it's going to be over here, so not over my head. I don't have a good example of that, but it's a similar instance here. This instance, the caption didn't stay vertically in the right spot. In the instance I just described with this, the caption would move horizontally. So when I move over, the caption would be over here instead of above my head, so you just have to pull it to the right or to the left. These are all just common mistakes that I'm seeing from other editors and edits online and all that. Lastly is images. When adding an image, I like to add some effects to it. So the first and simplest effect is just having a drop shadow. I think it adds a good depth to the image. You can see that it's kind of hard to discern from the background right now. You had a drop shadow. Okay, you can see the drop shadow here. When you add the drop shadow, it makes it stand out, looks better. Another thing I like to do is obviously animate the image in. Your animation of choice is up to you. It doesn't really matter that much. Just don't make it too egregious. Another thing I like to do is add some animation to it so it's not just static, so it doesn't just sit on the screen. In this instance, I just have a rock and a bounce. So I'll show you what that looks like.
Which president is on the $100 bill?
So it's lively. It's popping around. Not only is the image grabbing someone's eyes, but its animation is grabbing your eyes. And it's not just the introduction animation, it's a constant animation through. And it's not too egregious where it's hard to read, per se, if this is like a text box or some graphic with text on it that was essential. It's not too hard to follow. It's just kind of relaxed. Other common mistakes I see editors make are too loud of sound effects. So per se, they'll have something that's louder than it needs to be, or the sound effect will be too loud to understand what's being said behind it.
Which president?
In this case, it's almost too hard to replicate that, but I'll bump it up again.
Which
Like
president is...
that. That's too loud. You don't need it. You can hear it artifacting. You can hear it peaking. So it's not very common. I see this, but it happens. So just be mindful of it. I guess I'll just go through one of my most recent edited videos and talk about some things that stand out and call it there.
Is the Washington Monument in North Dakota or South Dakota?
The Washington Monument's in D.C.
I'm going to be clear. This is a...
So keep an eye out for the pop in and pop out of the text, or the animate in and animate out. You know, animate in when someone starts talking, animate out when they're done talking, unless the frame ends.
Yes or no question?
Yes or no?
No. Say no.
No.
That's correct. Which president is on the $100 bill?
Yes or no?
This one's not a yes or no question.
Benjamin Franklin.
Are you sure about that?
Benjamin Franklin.
Or maybe there was Benjamin Franklin a president?
Yeah. He was, for sure.
Nope, that's wrong. He was not a president. There's no president on the $100 bill.
Oh.
I thought you said that wasn't a yes or no question.
Correct. It's not a yes or no question. There is no president.
You just said no.
Well, you got that wrong.
Wait,
Your game...
so what's on the $100 bill?
Benjamin Franklin, but he was never a president.
Oh.
Yeah.
I still got it right.
No, you got that wrong, so your game is over. But if you're currently following, you do get to keep playing.
Wait, but I am following you.
Whoever is currently following does get to keep playing. You get to keep playing. Yeah, you get to keep playing.
Yeah.
What's more volume? 2 pints or 1 quart?
Aren't they the same?
Equal.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
What is the largest desert in the world?
It's Antarctica.
Antarctica.
Yeah, that's right. All right, if you get this question right, you win a prize, okay?
Okay.
This is a really difficult question. Most people get it wrong.
Oh, shoot.
Is the capital city of Kentucky pronounced Louisville or Louisville?
Neither. Isn't it Louisville?
That's not the capital.
That's right.
That's good.
Let's go. All right, you both win meet and greet passes to meet Josh Turner.
Oh my God.
So another thing I want to point out is repeat words. She repeats words, and I emphasize that by building them both in. Or, for example, no, 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 no. I'd build all of those in. I'd probably also increase the font size of those so you can see that it's being repeated, kind of emphasize what's going on. So I'll show you that here. There'll be multiple build-ins right in a row from her.
Louisville?
That's not the
The
capital.
two that's not. But in this instance, I didn't increase the font size. I also like to increase the font size. I think it helps add to the effect. Now let's compare this video to a video that I received from an editor that I was less than impressed with. The head heights.
Every question I ask you, I'll try to trick you, okay? Here we go. How many outs are in 1 inning of baseball?
3. 9 in 1 inning? Oh, wait, how many outs per inning?
Yeah, per inning.
3.
Oh, six. It's 6. Trust. 6. Trust.
6. It's 6.
The correct answer is 6.
Hey, come on.
Second question. Which president is on the $100 bill?
$100 bill. Benjamin Franklin.
No, that's not right. There is no president on the $100 bill.
It's
I just told you the answer. There is no president.
So are we done?
Yeah, you guys got that wrong. Game's over. But if you're currently following, you do get to keep playing.
Bro, are you following, bro?
Whoever is currently following.
I think I am, bro.
Look, right there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Can you just go show the camera? All right, guys. Next question. True or false? China invented Chinese checkers.
False.
False.
Final answer.
Final answer.
That's right.
Yeah, let's go.
Fourth question. What is Paul McCartney's middle name?
Paul who?
Paul McCartney.
John. Paul John.
No, it's Paul.
Oh, really?
Paul. His first name's James.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. Appreciate you trying. Next
Yeah,
question.
there's a ton of things wrong with this video. It's not stable. When I'm talking, sometimes I'm not even in the frame. These captions are hand tracked, not very well at all. I mean, look at this. This is just in the center of the screen. There's no tracking on that at all. I gotta let my dog out. Give me a sec. Go outside. Go outside. Alright, I gotta wrap this up. I'm gonna keep an eye on her. Anyway, the heads are not on the same height. Why would you put a contestant in the bottom left quadrant? There's no drop shadow on this. There's no constant animation floating it around. These are too close to the side of the screen. I'm sure you picked out a bunch of stuff I'm not even mentioning here, but I could just go on for a while on why this isn't impressive. I think it took the editor 6 revisions for it still to flop.